Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dokkan battle video, and today I'm going to do a team building guide on this new tech UI Goku. The previous videos I've done during Anniversary I've done pretty well, so I figured I'll do one on tech UI Goku as well. So he just dropped, and he's a pretty incredible unit. I would say he's for sure a top 10 unit in the game, maybe some would even argue a top 5 unit in the game. So yeah, he's pretty dang good. So let's take a look at his leader skill. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some team builds with him as the leader. I will talk about one without him as the leader. That's, I think, a pretty obvious choice here. But yeah, and then I'll go through just all kinds of options. Now, one thing I want to clarify is there's no maybe one team build that is a perfect team build, but I'm going to show you what I feel like are the best options right now. And then I'm going to show you like 3 pages of like good units you could put on the team. So a common thing I have happen is people comment on my other videos. They'll say, well, who can I replace so-and-so with? Well, just watch my video and pick pretty much any of the units in there. Otherwise, if you want very specific advice, it's easier just to join my Discord and like get help in there. And like you can ping me and ask me for help in there. Because in order to give you advice on like if you want to know a specific unit to swap out, you have to show me your box. Like, I don't know what you have, right? Otherwise, simply look at I'm going to show you, like I said, a ton of really good options you could throw on the team and just use your best judgment based on what you have and try some different combinations out, right? So for the leader skill, one reason I think this guy is so good, he has a very impactful, important leader skill. So he's Universal Survival Saga, Realm of Gods, and Entrusted Will. 170, and then the full 200 will go to reps of U7 or accelerated battle or powerful comeback. So he's got a lot there. But the big thing for this guy is like we really needed a good just straight up Universal Survival Saga lead. We didn't really have like a good relevant one, and same with Realm of Gods. Like I think our last Realm of Gods 200% lead was like the Resurrection F Goku Vegeta, and they were like super outdated, right? So to get those 2 categories like relevant again, I suppose Entrusted Will kind of needed another one as well, but I think one of the year 6s has that on it. But yeah, this is just a great leader skill, and it's got just an incredible pool of units, right? So the first build I'm going to show you is a very obvious, easy build you can do. This is what we would just call a full reps of U7 build. And this is a very obvious, easy list to put together. I think these are clearly the best reps of U7 units in the game, right? The big thing is we've got Team Universe 7 here and the Golden Frieza in 17. At the time I'm recording this video, they're really bad. So like if you go and like make this team like right away, you're going to notice these 2 units are not good, but they are about to EZA. They're going to EZA like just within a couple of days, along with the Tech Jiren. So they're going to EZA and they're going to be like top tier EZAs in the game. This team build right here is going to stomp most of the game. It's an incredibly good team build, incredibly amazing team. You're simply running rotations with UI Gokus and this Vegeta, and then one of the UI Gokus will have to float, and then you've got these guys floating, which are crazy. The one argument that you could take off is like some people maybe don't like this guy as much. I think he's still incredible, but you do have a lot of like dodge units on the team. So if there's something you want to place here that maybe is a little bit safer of an option, you could do that. You simply, like, if you don't want to run full U7, for example, you could simply swap this guy for, like, Beast Gohan, right? So, like, if you want something a little bit safer, there you go. You can do that, right? But that would be, like, a really good full U7 build, right? This here is what I would consider just be, like, a premium optimal build, right? So this would be, you're still running, like, the core of these 2 right here, the year 6 LRs, they are, like, top 5 units in the game. I think this guy's like a top 5 unit in the game, and this guy is the best unit in the game. So you got like 4 of the 5 best units in the game on global. Now, we don't have Cell Max. Cell Max is definitely like in that mix, but we don't have him yet on global. But I do legitimately think those top 4 units on that team build are like 4 of the best units currently in the game on global, which is pretty crazy. You could maybe argue Broly's close to being up there, right? You could maybe argue that Gogeta's close to being up there. But I think that those top 4, you throw them on a team and you're golden. And then I have Gammas here for support. And then I've got Gogeta because he's really good, right? So that's just another example. Now, what I want to throw out here, that would be like a non-UI Goku-led team. Obviously, if you're wanting to be purely optimal and like doing the best team build possible, you're simply running Beast as the lead and then just doing a build similar to this so that The only difference is you have 2 Beast Gohans instead of 2 UI Gokus. That's all you really do different here. And then you would have the option, maybe instead of Gammas, if you're running Beast as the lead, then you can throw Broly down. And then you've just got this insane team of like all of the top tier units in the game. So I think this Tech UI Goku does fit into what I would say is the best team in the entire game, which I think would be this team with Beast as the lead, and then maybe instead of Gammas, you throw Broly in there, right? But it all depends on the content that you're doing. The one thing that you have to be aware of when you're team building, until Dokkan decides to fix it, you're going to have domain clashing. So the only problem with running Broly with Tech UI is they both have important domains that are tied to like their transformations. So being that you can only have one of those up at a time, you may not actually want to run them together on the team until they decide to make a domain overwrite, which we don't know that they're actually going to do that. People have hypothesized that, but I don't know that that's actually going to happen. So you might have to kind of team build around your domains, okay? Now, just a bunch of other options you can put on the team, right? So obviously the blue boys here, they're still incredibly good. Maybe you like them more than the Gammas. They could slot into that really good team build as well. Tech Jiren's going to be a really good option. He's going to get it as EZA. STR Dispo, mine's not awakened yet, but he's one of the best banner units ever released. Like, he's insanely good because he starts off with, what, 50% dodge, but he gains 11% dodge every time he does a super attack, and he's got a bunch of additionals built into his kit. So this guy can pretty much just become, like, infinitely dodging. Like, he's crazy. You obviously have Kefla, one of the best EZAs in the game. You have both of the Gotankses. Because they are on Entrusted Will, you actually hit like the Gotanks and the Kefla unit. So if you like them, they are all definitely good enough to run. Obviously, you have Tech Ultimate Gohan. If you have a stacking event, you definitely can use them there. I still think AGL Gogeta is good enough to slide by if you can sneak by to his transformation, if you need a spot. I wanted to kind of throw this guy down. I honestly don't think he's good enough to run, but he did like this guy's one of the, what we'd call the unfortunate mistimed EZAs. He had a really good EZA and he was super impressive on release, but reps of U7 was terrible, and he needs reps of U7 to operate his big finisher. So this guy never really got to enjoy being good while he was good. He still may be solid, but he's a unit that needs to get hit and isn't really defensive enough to get hit. You could maybe have some fun with this guy. So I'd say this is a guy, if you want to try him on like that reps of U7 build, like you could have some fun with him and do some like big damage and like really fun mid-level events. But if you try to bring this guy into top level content, he's probably going to die. But I wanted to throw him out there as just a really fun option you can run, because now reps of U7 is actually like a top tier team. He actually has the team he needs. It's just his EZA came at the wrong time, right? I will throw 17 on there as well, because he's a solid option you can run for reps of U7. Oh, and actually, there's actually a premium unit I forgot to put on here. So reps of U7, yeah, I completely missed them. I would still say this is probably the best team build I would run, but there is a unit I forgot to mention, which would be, I'll just do this here. These guys have to be mentioned as well. This guy right here. These guys could actually be considered a top tier option. What's awesome about these guys is with the UI Gokus running around, you're actually going to get their unit super attack. They're actually like a really solid support unit. I still don't think they would make my cut for top team, because I still think like the 17 Frieza, the Team U7 would beat them out. The only thing would be is if you want like full floating supports, you would maybe take off STR UI Goku for them. Maybe is what you would do. But the 17 and 18 unit, they're definitely an option. So that's what made me think of them, because I put this guy here and I'm like, wait, I forgot the 17, 18, which they're actually like really, really good. So a lot of really good options though for full reps of U7. Once again, this guy, like the STR UI Goku, you can sneak by with him because he's got damage reduction in some situations. He has a defense support. He can make Team Universe 7 look crazy with all the links. So if you run either this guy or the 17, 18 int unit with the Team Universe 7, because they've got Android 17 in them, like they actually link up pretty well. So they're definitely options you can run, but I don't think, like, they definitely wouldn't make my top cut. This Ultimate Gohan, obviously a solid option you can run. We've got LR Future Gohan here, and that, so if you wanted to do like Future Gohan, you can run the Future Trunks as well, but once again, you've got Domain Clash here, so I really wouldn't recommend running him on this build, because then you have that issue of like whose domain are you going to use. But like, let's say you have him, he's still like a really good unit as is, even without the domain. So you could slot him onto the team if you just need to fill a spot, right? So, and then likewise, you've got Carnival Trunks, who's definitely a good enough option you can run. You also could do like a Universe 6 package. So I talked about we had Kefla. I still think Kale and Caulifla are like insane, especially like if you're going against a Universal Survival Saga or Pure Saiyan enemy, you literally could just toss her onto the team, like with no other U6 if you don't want to. You could literally just toss her onto the team as a unit that will dodge everything guaranteed and like help you not die. So I think Tech Caulifla, you always need to have her in your back pocket as an option. Even if you just have her SSR or don't even have her easy aid, you can still run her like that. So that's how crazy she is, because if you have a 100% chance to dodge, like, you just can't die. And then I think Kale, only run her if you are going to run Tech Caulifla and you would want to run them as a rotation. This guy was on the banner. You definitely could run him. He's definitely fallen on hard times. I wouldn't recommend it. I would say just use him as a filler option. This guy operates much better with like Super Saiyan 4s that have Saiyan Roar and like those really good links, right? For an extreme option, sure, Piccolo Jr. something you could use, but he doesn't really gel very well with the team. I just wanted to throw him. He's like a really top tier unit you can run. If you're doing full Universe 6 mixed in with UI Goku, maybe you want to run that Kale. She's definitely like probably the worst of the U6 that I'm recommending. Then you also have the option to run like a big time like Goku Black rotation or setup. So like, yes, physical Goku Black. You've got Ink Goku Black, who's solid. AGL Zamasu, like, this guy's aged actually pretty quick, especially for like what he is, because he's a damage reduction unit that stacks defense. I've tried using him in the hardest content, focusing on him stacking the whole way through, and on the last phase he still gets one shot. So like, I don't know about this guy anymore. He was so good on release, but he's fallen on hard times. Tech Zamasu can definitely still hang. I think he's solid enough you could use. Super Easy Goku Black's definitely good enough to use. Some floating support banner unit options, I would say Int Vados and then Int Whis. Those are two really good floating support options you can run. They've got dodge chance and they're going to support the units on the team. So yeah, very good floating support options there. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. There's even more. Like, I could probably go through my box and even like cherry pick a few other units you could run. But for the most part, I mean, this is just a ton of options you can run for the UI Goku team. The other thing to keep in mind, Topo is going to be coming out soon. Topo you could also run, especially with like the Universe 11 stuff. Now we've got Topo, Jiren. We've got that. There's going to be another Jiren coming out. So yeah, a lot of crazy options you can run. But like I said, I think if you want to do reps of U7, I would probably run some variation of this team. Like I said, the only change that maybe you would make is if you don't want to run STR UI Goku, then swap them for Int 17 and 18. I think one of those two variations is your best reps of U7 team. And then just a generic all-out crazy team would be something like this. Or you would run Beast as the lead and then maybe take out Gammas for Broly. But there you go, guys. Some crazy, insane team builds. Like I said, if you want specific help, maybe join my Discord. Otherwise, if you don't have the units I talked about on these top tier teams, go through all of these units here. Like, you odds are you've got something out of all of these units you can run. And like I said, Int Whis I don't have pictured, but Int Whis, Int Vados, those are like just banner units you may have picked up somewhere along the way that I think are definitely runnable. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.